So my name is Mallory, and I am our summer intern at RCEA and also a volunteer. And so we'll be talking about dating violence tonight. So a lot of people don't know that there are different forms of dating violence. There are controlling behaviors, and then there's also situational couple violence. And so with the controlling behaviors, the person is using them in order to gain power and control over the partner in the relationship, and they act in a way that causes fear or humiliation to control the person. And also with the situational couple violence, it can be in any form of emotional abuse, sexual abuse, or physical abuse. And so we have some different types listed here. Like with emotional would be isolation, it would be a big one, manipulation, sexual abuse, doing anything that's not consensual, forcing you to do sexual activity that you don't consent to, or physical abuse would be like hitting, shoving, or kicking, or things like that. And so I know that some of y'all are like just now going to be going on to college, and about 1 in 3 high school students have already experienced some form of dating violence from one of their partners. And most people will experience it before the age of 25. And like we're going to talk about in a couple of other slides, this can, women are the majority of women. The majority of victims are women, and the majority of perpetrators are men, but it can be either. And but women in the ages of 18 to 24 do experience the highest rates of intimate partner violence. And like this says here, nearly half of all college women and 1/3 of college men have reported experiencing abuse or controlling behaviors in their dating relationship. And so this is what we we're talking about before. It can happen to everybody, all forms of racial and ethnic backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, faith communities, same-sex relationships, and like I said, females and males can both be victims and perpetrators. And so here are some signs, just in case if you have ever experienced this or you know if anybody has. Just these are some things that you need to be on the lookout for. And so rape or any other form of sexual violence that is not consensual, isolation, not being like restricting you from talking to friends or family members and not letting you have the social support system where you could get the help that you need, manipulation, using, if you have children, like using children as pawns, like in the relationship, any kind of physical violence. Again, with the acting overly jealous would be going into those controlling behaviors, maybe like constantly like not giving you that like autonomy over what you're able to do, like with who you're able to see and talk to, and also putting you down. So that's kind of going into that emotional abuse. And also there's a lot of different cycles of abuse. So there can be times where the perpetrator is acting abusive and then there's a period when they're not. And so just kind of being on the lookout for those things. And so in the age of technology, digital abuse is pretty common just because of the big prevalence with social media and texting. And so it is more common among younger adults, but it can happen to anybody. And so this can be in the form of any kind of harassment on social media or texting or calling, repeated unwanted calls after you've already specified that you do not want to talk to this person, sending inappropriate pictures when you did not want that, trying to like check up on you or control like who you are being friends with and who you're talking to. And so like we said, like in healthy relationships, both partners need to respect boundaries. And so one of these boundaries is going to be, if you are not comfortable with sending pictures that make you uncomfortable, you don't have to do that. You don't have to give in to this, that if anyone is trying to make you do that.